Hey everybody, I'm shooting a video from Long Island. I told you guys I was gonna fly to different states, shoot videos. I got Lorraine here. She's one of the best real estate agents around. I grew up in this area. This is Long Beach. I grew up in a little town called Island Park, and so did she. And today we're gonna do a market update of Long Island because so many people moved to Florida from New York that I know from Nassau County. And now they're moving back to New York because Florida just didn't work out with them because, no, everybody can't take the heat and the property taxes, insurance, and hurricanes. There's always a reason why people are leaving Florida and going back where they know everybody. Like over here, the biggest thing I miss is the food. I miss the food, I miss the people. I have a lot of friends here, childhood friends. So it's every time I come here, it feels like I'm coming home. But anyways, we're gonna do a market update because if you think that the markets are the same, they're not. I've done market updates every month in Florida. Let's do one in New York. In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. And remember, if you need a real estate agent anywhere, or you want to talk to Lorraine, her phone number is going to be below. My phone number is below. And call me, text me, whatever. You know how it goes. All right. Introduce yourself. How long have you been in business?
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Well, I've been in business for over 20 years. Mostly Nassau County, South Shore. Like Jimmy said, I grew up in Island Park. Island Park, Oceanside, Long Beach, all of South Shore, Nassau County. But we travel all over for our clients. We're not afraid to travel, and we pretty much know every market on Long Island.
So I'm going to do some rapid fire things because, a lot of people, like you were telling me yesterday when we were talking, you're saying, well, a lot of people are snowbirds and they go to Florida, they buy a second home, and then they decide to sell their homes here in the county,
Correct.
So you're seeing a lot of that stuff going on. But I want to get a good idea of what it's like to buy now. And I always considered New York like 3 different states, okay? 3 states within the state. Upstate New York, the 5 boroughs, and Long Island. I always considered them.
I think that's pretty much how everybody views New York.
Right. All right. So basically, say you have 30 seconds to explain to somebody what Long Island's like right now, the real estate market. How would you describe it?
The Long Island real estate market is still competitive. I would say it's also very hyper-local. So it depends what area you might be looking in, and you might see different things in each market. Also depends on price point. Things are definitely stabilizing, but we are still seeing bidding wars, and we're still seeing competition.
So you're still seeing bidding wars. Like in Florida, we're not seeing bidding wars.
We're seeing bidding wars when houses are priced correctly. So the key is to price the house correctly right out of the gate. Those are the sellers that are getting lucky with multiple offers. Sellers that are overpricing, putting high in the sky price on their house, they're sitting a little longer and they might be yielding some lower offers.
I mean, we do that all the time in Florida. These people price their homes too high, and then you'll see price cuts because
Same thing.
They're trying to find that unicorn buyer.
Same thing. Or they say, what if we just want to try it? We just want to see if we could get that high. But the clients that really listen to their agent and price strategically are the ones that are going to be the most successful.
So like these over here, like I used to own a unit down here, and I remember I bought it, this was back in the 80s, but I bought it for like $89,000. Give me an idea of what a unit facing the boardwalk, facing the ocean would cost, roughly.
A lot more than $89,000, that's for sure.
I should have sold it.
Yeah, the market, this is really a strong market. We have the new condos over here that are going upwards of 1.5.
All right. So when somebody comes here to Long Island and the first time they're buying a house here on Long Island, what's the biggest misrepresentation that they have about this housing market? What shocks them the most?
I think probably one of the things that shocks them is the real estate taxes. But I think what they don't realize is there's a trade-off for real estate taxes. You're getting a lot on Long Island. It's a beautiful place to live, school districts, the beaches. And yes, our taxes are higher than some other states.
Like a lot of people in Florida, New York has come down and we're trying to eliminate property taxes in Florida, okay? And there's going to be on the ballot, we think, and just, if you're homesteaded, if you live in that house. But here's the situation. People from New York are moving to Florida and they're like, wow, these taxes are cheap. They're $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
That if you're coming to New York, you've probably done that research before you got here. So yes, it might be a little shocking at the beginning, and the houses are going to be priced higher too. So overall, it's a trade-up.
Let me ask you this question then. let's talk about insurance because a lot of people that come in here. Is it hard to get insurance for houses here on Long Island?
Homeowners insurance has gone up from what I understand. That's not really my expertise.
Right.
And, some of the homes here are in a flood zone. South Shore, Nassau County, we deal with a lot of homes that are in flood zones. We can get insurance, but, sometimes we have to transfer it from a previous owner. Sometimes we, have to get a private policy, but we always make it work.
But did a lot of things change after Sandy? Like this boardwalk was destroyed. I remember,
Yeah.
during Sandy,
Yes, absolutely.
this whole boardwalk was destroyed. I mean, did you see a lot of changes since then?
Well, we saw changes and the FEMA guidelines changed. So a lot of the houses had to be raised or new builds had to be built to a certain height, all for the benefit of the homeowner. But yeah, there definitely have been some changes. And in Long Beach, Sandy, the prices just kept going higher. People love this town.
Oh yeah, look at it.
Oceanside,
Look at
Island
my
Park.
people.
Yeah.
It's actually freezing here. You guys, I am freaking freezing here.
It's not freezing. Jimmy's from Florida. It's not
But-
freezing at all.
but you see how
It's a
many-
beautiful day.
You see how many people are walking. Let me ask you a question. So somebody comes here and says, all right, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, with an office, whatever. How much money? I know it depends on the area, Oceanside,
Yeah,
Long
that's
Beach,
a
Island Park.
trick
It's a loaded question.
Don't give me trick questions,
Okay.
Jerry.
But in general,
Listen, in general, I want to say if you're coming into Oceanside, which is one of my prime markets, you're looking at upwards of $750, and that house probably needs some work. The
Okay.
the entry point has definitely gone up.
okay, so that's what it means.
Yeah.
So, are you,
In Florida, you could probably get a similar house for $450.
yeah, probably 450, 500. Some of them, like my house, if I dropped it here, it's
Couple of million.
Well,
Well, it's different markets.
It's a different market. That's what I'm just saying. It's just like totally different market. But are you seeing a lot of first-time home buyers?
I am. We work a lot with first-time home buyers. We actually work with a lot of lenders that have first-time home buyer programs that give some kind of assistance or better interest rates, depending on neighborhoods, depending on income. So although we do definitely work with a lot of first-time home buyers. A lot of the buyers I work with are my friends' children, and they
Yeah.
put their trust in us
Yeah, of
to
course.
help their children find a house, and we do it. And I always say to buyers when I sit down with them, give me 30 to 60 days and we'll find you a house.
So are you doing any FHA, VA around here?
Do a lot of VA, not as much FHA, but definitely VA, and I'm a big fan of the VA and the
Okay.
veterans, so I definitely try to go to bat for them when we're presenting their offers.
So when a buyer comes here, I mean, obviously the first thing you probably do is get them pre-qualified before you shopping.
It's the first step.
It's always the first step, no matter where you are and stuff like that. But
I always tell buyers when they're getting pre-qualified, the number to talk to their lender about is their monthly payment. Let's not focus so much on the price of the house, because the price of the house, we could have a house at one price with high taxes, or we could have a higher price with lower taxes. So really, it's about your comfort level too. Sometimes I have buyers come to me and say, my lender said I could spend over $1 million. And then when they actually see what that's costing them monthly, they don't want that payment, even though they can afford it. It's all about your lifestyle. What else do you want to spend your money on? Do you want to take vacations? Do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to go and, save for college for your children? So just because you can afford a price point doesn't mean that's the price point you're comfortable at. So the number to focus on is your monthly payment and where you want to be.
I mean, right now, I know I'm throwing out some of these questions, but right now it's just people can't afford, say, the South Shore of Nassau County, or some of them move into Suffolk or the 5 boroughs, different areas.
I'm seeing more people from the boroughs coming to Long Island.
Really?
There's always been a little bit of an exodus. People go from Queens, and if you ask everybody where'd you grow up, they
Right.
start with Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely see people here. The prices in the boroughs are high. Brooklyn and Queens, the prices have really gone very high. And then it just depends on the area where you want to go.
I did a video, full disclosure, on after people moving out of the 5 boroughs and moving to Florida, because there's a lot of them, because we have the stats there. But you're saying a lot of them are still moving to the island.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are coming to Long Island from Queens and Brooklyn for sure.
So like the Florida housing market is hurting right now. So we are hurting. Okay,
Yep.
we have a lot inventories up.
Definitely a
So-
little
selling-
depressed on prices.
Yeah, especially since we had the double hurricanes last year. So you're saying that the market is not hurting here, or is it?
Hurting in what way?
Like, compared to, forget about the unicorn years, forget about the COVID years, okay?
We're not seeing the COVID years, but we are still seeing a pretty strong market that has leveled off somewhat, but it's definitely not going down. It might have flattened a little bit. I think there's a little bit of a correction, but I think that correction was necessary. And like I said before, if you're pricing your house right from the beginning, you're going to have competitive offers.
So it seems like you're always going back to pricing the home correct.
I mean, that's the biggest factor.
All right, so like in Florida, like I always tell people, if you're going to price your home, look at what's sold, in the last 30, maybe 60 days in your area, comparables, but not 6 months ago. Like we have a lot of situations that people are saying, hey, you know what, my neighbor sold their house for X amount of money, but that was 9 months ago or a year ago.
Right, you have to look at the market that you're in today.
Is this market fluctuating a lot?
Is the market fluctuating a lot? I don't see that much fluctuation. I mean, people are still sitting waiting for interest rates to come down. Interest rates are higher than they were a few years ago, so that's changed some things. But even with the higher interest rates, prices have stayed high. So I don't see that much of a fluctuation. But again, I said everything is kind of hyper-local, so my market, I think, again, it goes back to price. Price it right, don't put the pie in the sky, and listen to your agent, and you're going to be successful with your sale.
Tell me if you agree with this statement, okay? Because I say this in a lot of videos. Like if rates were 10%, say, hypothetically, market is dead. 9% dead, 8% dead. 7%, people start dipping their hands in. 6%, they're looking around. But if rates hit in the fives, especially the low fives, the market is going to heat up. Do you agree with that statement?
The market will heat up, but then the prices will go higher.
Prices will go up.
So the buyer's really not winning by waiting for interest rates to fall. Their payment, again, monthly payment is still going to be higher. They might get a lower interest rate, but they might be paying more for the house. So I always say, don't wait. Buy the house when it's right for you, because there's never really a bad time to buy real estate. I'm sure you could agree with that.
Right, but
even in Florida.
You're going to get comments on this video saying, because you're a real estate agent, so you're going to say that.
Okay, so let's look back in history.
That's right.
Let's look back. Look back in history. You bought a house 20 years ago. Is it worth more today than it was 20 years ago?
Right.
Okay.
Real estate on the graphs, and we've gone over that many, many times. Over time.
And I'm honest with my clients. So if a buyer says to me, I want to buy a house, but we might not stay here that long. We might want to move to Florida or out of state or to the Carolinas. And I say, if you're not going to stay for 5 to 7 years, then then we don't know where you're going to be. But in a long-term investment, you're always going to win with real estate.
I don't know if you watched one of my videos, but I say that all the time.
No, I didn't see that. I thought I invented that.
If you're going to buy in Florida and you plan to sell before 5 years,
right? There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
The chances you're going to lose money.
Long term, you're going to win. And these young buyers that are staying in rentals, waiting for the interest rates to drop a half a point, the difference in their rate, in their monthly payment, is probably only going to be about $80 or $100. So what are you waiting for?
So let me ask you this question: like, these houses are obviously more expensive than New York, Florida houses. Do you see multiple generations buying the house together?
Yes,
like
many times. People looking to be able to have an accessory apartment for their parents, and parents might be helping out. Parents might be helping out with childcare. So we see that every now and again.
All right, yeah, because we're starting to see that because the prices are still, high in Florida. Even though they're coming down, they're not going to go down to where they were.
Right.
Right. Because some of the houses, like even in my area, the houses doubled in price.
Yeah. Well, I mean, prices are definitely a lot higher than they were.
What do you think your projection is for 2026?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball.
But what do you think is going to happen?
I think the market's going to stay strong.
You've been doing this for a very long time, so
like I said, I've been in the business over 20 years, so I think I've seen all of the different kind of markets and the ups and downs that you can have. I think 26 is going to be a strong year. I think that the market will stay strong. I do not see anything dipping or crashing.
All right, cool. All right, let me ask you this question, because I'm freezing. When people call you and say, hey, I want to buy a house, and you're obviously the first thing you're going to say to them is, well, what's your price range? What are you looking for, right?
Right, what are you looking for?
Okay. What do you hear mostly?
I think the sweet spot is anywhere between 600 and 850, and that is a very competitive market for first-time home buyers right now. I just had buyers looking for a house in the Belmar area, and they paid over $90,000 over asking price in a bidding war.
Wow.
Well, they won. Well, just recently, they just closed on it about a week or two ago. But the interesting part is they bought a condo 4 years ago, and they made over $150,000 since they purchased it 4 years ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
for them, it was a win-win.
Yeah, that is a win-win. Yeah.
Buy high, but you sell high. So
That's true. If the market crashes,
that sweet spot, that 850 range, that was a tough. It was a tough price point, and there's definitely still bidding wars if the house is truly valued at that price.
Let me ask you a question about that particular. Did it appraise?
Yep.
Oh, it appraised.
It appraised.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to do a follow-up. I'm going to be in Florida. You're going to be here freezing, and we'll do it over the computers.
Okay, I'll get my hot chocolate out.
All right, and we'll do a follow-up and see how it is. But anyways, as always, if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. But if you need a real estate agent in New York, especially Nassau County, Suffolk, give her a call, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, and we'll speak to you soon.
Have a great day.